What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I'd like to give you guys some Atlanta Falcons news. But if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content or NFL content. If you'd like to follow your boy on Twitter and Instagram, you can follow me at Jew Talk Sports. And if you'd like to donate to my channel, you can donate to my Cash App, which is the $ Jew Talk Sports. If you'd like to be a part of my Jew Talk Sports membership, you can hit that join tab here on the channel as well. But with that being said, let's jump right into the video. So in today's video, I do want to give you guys some Atlanta Falcons news. So today in Atlanta Falcons news, the Atlanta Falcons have picked up Kyle Pitts' fifth-year option, which I'm not surprised to see Kyle Pitts' fifth-year option get picked up. Kyle Pitts is one of those guys that before we drafted him, I did state that he was a generational talent. At that tight end position, Kyle Pitts goes 6'6", 250 pounds, but is a guy that can run a 4.4 40. Is one of those guys in his rookie season, did make the Pro Bowl when he had Matt Ryan as his quarterback. He had over 1,000 yards receiving in his rookie season. The last 2 years kind of tailed off as far as his stats. In his second season, he went down with a knee injury. And then last season, he had about 650 yards receiving. So Kyle Pitts is one of those guys that I think is still a generational talent. That's why he is nicknamed the Unicorn, because he is one of those guys that's a hybrid tight end / wide receiver, one of those guys that can do it all as far as running routes, as far as being one of those guys that can high point the football, being one of those guys that can make difficult catches look easy. And he's one of those guys that has terrific balance, one of those guys that can adjust to the football. And that was one of the things that I noticed prior to the Falcons drafting him coming out of Florida, was his ability to adjust to the football, his ability to make one-handed catches, as we've seen him do numerous times in his rookie year and throughout his first 3 years with our Atlanta Falcons. Kyle Pitts is one of those guys that the sky's the limit. He could easily be the best tight end in the game of football because of his God-given ability, because of his size, his speed, and his athleticism. And to me, he's easily a top 5 tight end in the NFL. I just feel like he hasn't gotten the opportunities to make those plays. When we had Arthur Smith here as our head coach and Dave Ragone as our offensive coordinator, to me, those guys didn't do a good job of scheming Kyle Pitts open. Kyle Pitts is one of those guys that's a mismatch nightmare for opposing defenses. Because of his size and speed, there's not a cornerback or a linebacker really that can match up with him consistently and stop him. Because of his size, he's too big for most cornerbacks and most safeties, and he's too fast and too athletic for most linebackers. So I really feel like this season we're going to see Kyle Pitts take that next step and being like an all-pro tight end. I do think that Zach Robinson, they're going to know how to scheme him open. They're going to give him opportunities to be in mismatches. They're going to move him around on the field to make sure he gets the football. And that's something that Raheem Morris talked about prior to taking the job with the Falcons. He did state that Kyle Pitts will be one of those guys that will touch the football a lot this season. And I expect them to give Kyle Pitts, opportunities to make plays. I really feel like in our last regime with Arthur Smith and Dave Ragone, they didn't do a good job of putting Kyle Pitts in favorable matchups. They allowed too many teams to take Kyle Pitts out of the game. And I really feel like the best offensive coordinators in the NFL are the ones that understand how to get their playmakers to football. And I really feel like that's going to be something that we're going to see, because if you think about the offense with the LA Rams, which will be running a similar offense to Sean McVay, he does a great job of getting guys like Cooper Kupp the football. Last year, Puka Nacua was one of those guys that they fed the football. But if you just think about Cooper Kupp just in general, since he's been in the league, Sean McVay does a good job in his offensive scheme and Cooper Kupp open, putting him in favorable matchups, moving him around. Not only does he line up outside, but he lines up sometimes in the backfield. He also lines up in the slot a lot, where he's basically, in a favorable matchup against either your nickel corner or one of your safeties and one of your linebackers, which it really makes it easy for Cooper Kupp to get his catches and get his yards and get touchdowns. So I really feel like Kyle Pitts is going to have a breakout season. And I do think after his 5th-year option, I expect the Atlanta Falcons to sign Kyle Pitts to a long-term deal. Kyle Pitts is only 23 years old, so he's one of those guys that's not even in his prime yet. And I really feel like he can be a special player because the Falcons took him at 4, drafted him with the 4th pick 3 years ago. I really feel like he's one of those guys that's an asset to this Atlanta Falcons team and should be one of the focal points of this Atlanta Falcons offense this season. But I really feel like him coming back, this will be his 2nd year coming off the knee injury. I expect him to be back 100%. And I expect us to see the best out of Kyle Pitts. And I wouldn't be surprised if he eclipsed over 1,000 yards receiving. But I really feel like the biggest jump that we're going to see from Kyle Pitts is his touchdowns. Last season, he only had 3 touchdowns. In his first season, he only had 1 touchdown. But I believe with Kirk Cousins now as the quarterback for our Atlanta Falcons, and with this Zach Robinson offense, I really expect them to get Kyle Pitts, open in the red zone and give him more opportunities to use his big body, use that big frame going up to make catches in the end zone. And I expect Kyle Pitts to probably have the best season of his career. But with that being said, you guys give me your thoughts on Kyle Pitts and the Falcons picking up his 5th-year option. I definitely think that this was a no-brainer for our Atlanta Falcons because Kyle Pitts is one of those guys that's a special talent. And I really feel like this offensive coaching staff is going to get the best out of Kyle Pitts. I think they're going to give him more opportunities to shine. And I really feel like Kyle Pitts is one of those guys that's going to cherish and take full advantage of the opportunities that this offensive coaching staff is going to give him. But with that being said, this has been your boy Jew. I have a lot more content coming for you guys. But as always, Falcons Nation, rise up, be blessed. Peace.